Order for the Brookings County Commission for April 4th, 2023. Please rise for the pledge. Next on the agenda is an invitation for a citizen to schedule a time on the commission agenda for an item not listed. There's a 5-minute limit per person. Anyone wanting to speak during the agenda item must sign in prior to the start of the meeting. No commission action will be taken during the agenda item. Any requested action item may be scheduled for a future meeting date. And signed up is Jeanette Gibbons.
Good morning. Let's scoot this over. All right, back to one of my favorite topics, which is election integrity. And if you haven't noticed, I'm quite persistent, and I will continue along this line. And I hope you all become team players with me, with our entire community, with our county, with our state and our country. Let's straighten things out and get on with business. So I've handed out a hard copy again this morning, and I just put the links on there, or you can just go directly to rumble.com. And you could search for the topic and find it that way. There are two different, well, I think there may be more than that now, but there are at least two links available. The one I watched again last night, got partway through it. It's about 4 hours long, and a group of gentlemen discussing election integrity. And the paramount question is, why do we trust these machines? So this was kind of a geeky bunch. A couple of IT specialists and something like probably about 100 years experience between 3 of the gentlemen that were on this group discussing the machines. And yes, you can see by the title that they're talking about Dominion. This is not limited to Dominion machines. If you have machines in your election, they are hackable. And we like to think that everybody plays by the same rules that we do, which is we are fair with people, we are honest with people, we want the right thing. But that's not the type of players that we live in our world now. And it doesn't take a whole bunch of bad players to make bad things happen. So they do a very good job of describing things in this video. The man that was leading off the discussion was Mark Cook, and just a little of his background. Mechanical and electrical engineering, computer science. He likes hardware, software, cybersecurity, forensics, complex systems, and his favorite is root cause analysis, which is he likes to look at the big picture and see what all is going on here, there, and put it all together. So he was the lead guy, and he was doing a demo using the board that they had shadowed from a machine that was used in Arizona. Now, you heard the story about the lady that snuck out with that, and she got in big trouble because she was uncovering corruption. Why is it people that are uncovering the corruption are getting in trouble, and the ones that are doing the corruption are not? So I really encourage you to listen to this video, watch it. I mean, he has great demos. He has the flash drive demonstration. And just to give you a little of my background too, I don't know if I've ever explained myself very well, other than this concerned citizen that comes to you and speaks. My background is in computer science. I have bachelor's and master's degrees in computer science. I know how to program. I taught programming courses on campus for more than 15 years. I was on campus more than 20 years. And I worked in software. I worked in software development companies where I was on the side of kind of customer relations and communicating with the programmers, but I know the language on both sides. So, a flash drive demonstration, a flash drive, you can make it do anything you want. You plug that flash drive into your machine. Let me see, what little batch file should I put on there? If they press this key, zap. I can make it do anything I want. On different machines, I can make it do different things. They can have so many layers of corruption of 1,000 different ways that they can hack our systems. It doesn't have to look the same way across the board in every state in the country. Election fraud is occurring in every state. Over and over again, I hear that statement and I believe it because I know it's possible. And we have evidence that shows that it's happened in every state. Now, has it happened here? Why wouldn't we want to know? If everything is fine, it's fine. If everything is not, let's fix it. So how do these I mean, there's some great charts that are in this video, and I did some screen captures along the way, but this one in particular I liked. They talked about voter registration, voter validation, tabulation, and reporting, and we have turned that all over to machines. Over the years, we've taken away the authority from our precinct and county level, and we have given it to big corporations and companies. Why would we do that? Because we trust them so much, because we like giving them our money? And then in return, what do we get? We get them controlling us. So they described what really has happened in our elections is that it is just turned into a vote, money, power laundering system. All of us are victims to this system. We stand up against it and we stop it. Now, if you will seriously take a look at this information, he has the evidence. I mean, we're talking people that have spent 3 years of their life now devoted to trying to uncover this fraud and make it available to the public. Why were people censored? Censored for talking about voting election fraud, censored for talking about COVID. This is not the country I grew up in, and it's not the country I'm going to leave behind to my children and grandchildren. Thank you.
All right,
If you
thank
have a
you.
chance to watch it, I'll be happy to talk to you again.
All right, next on the agenda is approval of the agenda.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any additions or changes to the agenda? Anything else? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. The consent agenda. This is for approval of minutes, approval of travel requests, approval of personnel action notices, approval of cellular authorizations, and approval of the human services report. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion approved.
Second.
Second. Discussion. Comments, discussions? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Vanderwall,
Yeah, aye.
Bartley, Jensen,
Aye.
Hostler,
Aye.
Krogman,
Aye.
motion carries.
All right, routine business, approval of the claims. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion on the claims. Comments? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Bartley, Jensen,
Aye.
Hostler,
Aye.
Vanderwall,
Aye.
Krogman,
Aye.
motion carries.
All right, department head reports. Start with Bob.
Well, that's loud. Good morning. Of course, last week, I sent out a report. Looks like most of it since then has been weather-related, went on the radio a couple times. We did submit a township officer list to the South Dakota Office of Emergency Management, which is required by South Dakota codified law, so the governor can have everyone's contact list. National Weather Service had a big webinar about the storm on March 31st. Richard gave a presentation at South Dakota State University yesterday. Storm spotter training for our area was held in Madison last night. I did not go to it due to a pinched nerve. Richard and Ray Lynn both attended to it. We typically rotate that between counties every other year, so we should have that in Brookings County next year. We have a planning and zoning meeting this evening, starting at 8 o'clock. Tomorrow, the South Dakota Planners Association is visiting South Dakota State University's landscape architect center, who has a planning degree, and I'll go over there in the afternoon. Thursday, the Rural Fire Association is meeting at the East Fire Station. I typically attend those. And on May 9th, the state of South Dakota is having a points of dispensing annual conference in Oklahoma, and I'll put a travel request in on that. Any questions? Thank you.
All right, thank you. Lori.
Nothing to report.
Okay. Marty?
Good morning. Down in the jail, we have, 32, yes.
Will you maybe move that that one over to the side, so I don't know if it's getting the feedback or
Yeah.
not. Okay,
But,
thank you.
oh, okay. Anyway, just a quick rundown with the jail. Inmates are, we got 36, 24 are inmates, 12 are from other counties. It's, in the 24/7 program, it's down to 93, which I think I'm looking at it as a positive thing. When that 24/7 comes down, I'm hoping that, that people are trying to be more responsible. I don't know if you want to do that, but I look at it as a positive. I do have 37 on PBTs that come in twice a day, and we still have drug court. We have 12 UAs and Hope Court 7 in that. But I'm looking at that 24/7 as a positive that it's down. The U.S. Marshal Service was in for a second tour, 2 U.S. Marshal, and they were impressed with the jail. Said it was one of the better-looking jails that they've been in. So they were impressed. So we're just still waiting for a final contract with them. On the 23rd of March, I met with Dan Martell and the city manager, and I think there's one council person there, and then Commissioner Jensen was with us with the DOT in Volga to talk about Highway 14 that goes through Volga, to do some studies this spring and stuff. And just like everybody else, state's struggling for engineers and manpower and get this done, but he promises that we'll get this study done. And there's a couple there. He's going to do it in different areas and look at pedestrian traffic and vehicle traffic. And then Larry was there Commissioner Jensen was there to talk about the Aurora. He might say something about that. But anyway, I appreciate him being there anyway. The pub call kept us busy from Friday night to early Sunday morning. We had 29 arrests that came in, but good thing about it, 27 of them was released right away. So we only kept a couple in that had higher charges. So otherwise, the guys have been busy weather-related, a lot of weather-related stuff, and slide-ins and accidents and so forth. So other than that, if the commission has any questions. Okay. Thank you.
Dustin?
Morning, everybody.
Morning.
I'll start with attendance. Since the last time I attended a commissioner meeting, that was February 21st, we've done 65 events out at the facility. We've had 493 people through the gun range, and the archery range we've had 305. I just wanted to thank our volunteers on the gun range side because they've been extremely busy. We used to see 15 to 20 people on the weekends. Now we're seeing 40 to 50 on a Saturday, which is nice. Events, building usage, we did our, which is now going to be the annual running shoot. Just wanted to let you guys know we had about 200 people from surrounding communities come. It was really good. We had 106 archers. I was asking everybody where they were from. We had people from Wisconsin, St. Cloud, Minneapolis, so that turned out very well. Hopefully it continues to grow. Also wanted to thank local businesses as well because we went around and got some coupons, and some hotels gave discounts to those coming in if they had a group of people that were going to stay at the facility, so that was nice. Welcome to summer. Actually, Sheriff Marty brought this up in a board meeting. We're doing a little event May 10th from 3 to 6, and this is just to educate families and kids in the community on what's going on within Brookings, and then some safety concerns, issues that might educate families and kids. So we're going to have law enforcement. I reached out to some of the city staff. They're going to come out and educate people on what they have going on in the community, as well as I think Bob's going to set up a table. We got the library coming out. Pete's going to bring out a fire truck. We're going to have some animals out there, just something fun for kids to kind of start off the summer and fill people in on what's going on. Another event that we're going to try to do, which I submitted a flyer that we got made, is a rummage sale. This is just to allow people a space that may live in an apartment or on an acreage that they're just looking to get rid of junk, I guess, rummage sale items, and they don't want to do it at their house, so they don't have the area to do it at their house. So worked with Brandon with GIS in the GIS department, and he actually made a layout for how many booths we could fit in our archery range comfortably. and then still allow capacity levels and emergency exits and all that kind of stuff. So we'll have one of those for the future if we decide to do more of this type of stuff. Also, during our BCOAC advisory board meeting we had last week, I submitted a budget, and everybody, we gave me ideas of what we needed to work on, save, and just kind of went over that, I guess. Maintenance issues, things we've been doing, Train, they came out and did their first quarter preventative maintenance. We have 3 left, and then our contract's up with them, so I'll work with them to create another contract and submit to you guys to see if you want to continue doing something like that. I think it's very beneficial. We've been working with them pretty good. We're doing some updates in the classroom. Those are actually getting done today. Our parking lot is going to get resealed this summer. We have a gentleman that's going to pour a sidewalk outside of one of our exit doors in the gun range so they can bring in that equipment. It's also a safety concern when we have lots of snow and stuff, if we ever didn't have an emergency, so people can egress safely. And then as well as when we clean that berm, they bring in that heavy equipment. Instead of coming across our nice concourse, they'll come just from the exit door on the exterior. Oh, berm is scheduled to get mined May 2nd, 3rd, which Game Fish and Parks is actually going to fund 75% of that, so that's nice. We did a tour with our insurance company. They came out and said, keep doing what we're doing. They checked egress, fire extinguishers, all that good stuff. Also have on here office space with Game Fish and Parks and 4-H. I submitted a little drawing. Don't laugh at that, but it's not to scale or anything. Kind of what we're looking at. Emmett Kaiser, who's a regional supervisor down in Sioux Falls, I think some of you know who he is. They're interested in getting a couple more office spaces, and he kind of wants to move on that. I just wanted to let you guys know I don't have that in the budget for this year, but if that's something you guys were interested in looking at, in 2018, you guys funded half of a project, and then they funded the rest, and then they also pay us monthly rent. We're in a 10-year contract with them, and then next year, the rent actually goes up to $1,100. They're paying $1,000 a month. So if that's something you guys are interested in, I'll bring that to the commission to see how we want to move forward on that. But Emmett told me to get some quotes and then send to him to see if they're interested in moving forward with that. We hired 2 more part-time people. We got 1 graduating, 1 going home for the summer. And then that GFP grant that you guys approved earlier this year that hopefully we continue to get every year just to offset some of those expenses that we have. Went through the first round out in Pierre, and they approved it, and now it's got to go to the Office of Federal Assistance in Denver. And then I'll bring that back to you guys, and if we want to move forward with that, do that as well for next year. Any questions for me? Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Jacob, do you have anything, or are you waiting for the agenda stuff?
Nothing new to report this morning.
Okay. How about you, Bev? Okay, sounds good. All right, we'll move on then. Next up is regular business number 8. We do have a scheduled agenda at 9, and we'll move to that when we need to, but we'll move on to regular business. Letter A is an action to approve Resolution 23-17, a resolution approving annexation of territories by the city of Brookings. Is there a motion to approve?
Move approval. Second.
Second. Discussion, comments?
This was submitted by Ryan Miller with the city, and you can see the petition for annexation that was made to them, and then he also provided maps of the site, so.
All right. Discussion, comments? Bob, anything on zoning?
No, sir, it's contiguous with the city limits, so it's a good rezoning.
All right. Please call the roll.
Jensen,
Aye.
Hostler,
Aye.
Vanderwall,
Aye.
Bartley, Krogman,
Aye.
motion carries.
Letter B, an action to approve agreement 23-23, a security installation contract between Brookings County and Safe and Secure. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion approved. Second.
Second. Discussion, comments?
This is the agreement with Safe and Secure to do the courthouse security project that we submitted the put out the RFP for. We got back a number of submissions on that. This is that contract with Safe and Secure now to do that work over there. We fund it in full, and then this does have the courthouse security grant piece through UJS that will get 75% paid back on this. on this project.
Any further discussion, comments? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Hostler.
Aye.
Vanderwall.
Aye.
Bartley. Jensen.
Aye.
Krogman.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Letter C is an action to approve an elderly tax freeze number 23-04. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion approved.
For a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, discussion, comments?
This elderly tax freeze is being presented for approval to accept. The deadline for this particular one was April 1st, 2022. However, we did not get the income information to our office until March 27th of 23. South Dakota Codified Law 10-6A-4 allows a person to petition the Board of County Commissioners to recalculate taxes based on the valuation the person would have received. We have done the footwork on this application, and the reduced amount for taxes would be $882.30.
Further discussion, comments? And Laura, your recommendation?
I recommend approval.
Approval, yep. Okay. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Letter D, action to approve abatement number 23-09, an abatement application for parcel number 40265-01500-066-00 in the amount of $3,204.28. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion approved.
Second.
Discussion.
The amount of abatement being requested today of $3204.28 is the total taxes due on that property, due and payable in 2023. However, there's a retroactive date of award for the disabled veteran in this case, so we're going back an additional 3 years. Next year in abatement, probably for the next 2 years, the total amount left to be abated is $5,033.48.
Okay. Discussion? Jacob, approval of this, recommend approval of two?
Yes, I recommend approval.
Okay. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Letter E, action to approve a request to fill vacancy for full-time deputy in the sheriff's office. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion approved.
Second.
Discussion.
This is due to a resignation in the office.
Okay. Further comments, discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right. Commission Department Director's report. You got 7 minutes.
Perfect. I don't have much, so that works out really well. So, Weed and Pest Supervisor Misty Moser asked that I pass along that she did get the DOT bid for spraying this summer. So she asked me to share that with all of you. The only other thing that I really have is looking out here in a couple weeks, we go out to spring workshops out in Pier. I do have the Durango reserved for that, so we have to have that discussion on, who wants to ride in the Durango. And then, does everyone plan on going out Tuesday afternoon, evening, and staying both Tuesday nights and Wednesday nights? The first session starts Wednesday morning at 8:30. So, yeah, okay. Then I'll just keep the hotels. And I know Ryan can no longer go.
So I have 3 committee meetings those 2 days, and so Brookings County Housing is one of them, and a couple other ones on Wednesday, so I will not be going.
Okay. So, and then I can just discuss with you plans on as far as getting out there and whatnot. So, and then the only other thing that I really have are just some upcoming dates. Remember, tomorrow we do have our work session. That's going to start at 8 o'clock next door instead of 8:30, right away at 8 a.m. tomorrow. It's scheduled to go until noon. If we wrap up before that, we'll get you out of there. But next door in the community room tomorrow morning at 8. Thursday evening is the Chamber of Commerce annual meeting at Club 71 at the football field at SDSU. That starts at 5, right at 5 o'clock. This Friday, offices do close at noon for Good Friday. Equalization boards are coming up. That's actually next Tuesday already. They'll start 8:30, and we'll be here in this room. And we have 0 appeals. Is that right, Jacob? No appeals to hear, so it should be
Knock on wood.
a fairly quick meeting. But we still have to meet to go over reports and whatnot. As I mentioned, the spring workshop is coming up. We'll leave on the 18th and return early evening on Thursday, the 20th. And then even a little bit further out, Memorial Day is the May 29th, and we do have offices will be closed there too. And we did get the budget hearing scheduled for the 26th of June. That's a Monday this year. Please mark your calendars off for an entire day, 8 to 5, and we usually do a working lunch through that as well. The community room, again, reserved next door. So Monday, June 26th for that. And unless you have questions for me, that's all I have.
Any questions? All right, still a few minutes short. State's Attorney's Office report, anything? All right. Well, we'll move on to commission reports for a couple. Commissioner Vanderbilt.
Thank you, Commissioner Krogman. On Wednesday, March 22, I attended the ICAP meeting at 9:30. I attended a partial of that meeting and then had a 10:30 diversion structure meeting. On Thursday, March 30th, I attended the open meeting for the I-29 exit 133 interstate forum. And Friday, the March 31st, Railroad Authority Board. And then on Sunday, April 2, I attended the Sandy Fireman Feed. In Sandy, I had a good crowd there. 280 people were fed at that fundraiser. Thank you.
Perfect. Commissioner Bartley.
My mic's not working, so I'll speak loud. I don't know what's going on here. I switched mics, Stacy, and it still didn't pick up. Oh, I can use poor old Larry's mic. It still works. Okay. On the 21st, attended the quarterly strategic meeting with the city, the college, Barry Dunn, president, school board, and so forth. It was good meeting from about 3 o'clock to about 5 o'clock, so a couple hours of getting updated on what everybody's up to. 22nd was a BDC board meeting. That lasted about an hour and a half also. It was also a good meeting. They decided what they're going to be doing for the next year here now that Senator Reed is back in charge, so to speak. Also on the 28th, the Fireman's Feed here in Brookings was well attended. I don't think there was an empty seat in the place. A great presentation of food, as they always do. Friendly group. On the 30th, went to a first district exec board meeting in Watertown as we plan the year where we're going to go as far as our finances and we had our annual audit review. All those things were good. And also the 30th, they attended the I-29 meeting in this room that the DOT put on. So that's my report.
All right, thank you. Commissioner Jensen.
On the 21st, I also attended the intergovernmental meeting. Big year in construction for the city, the schools, utilities. There's going to be a lot going on this summer and this spring. The 22nd, Dairy Township diversion meeting. Still working on contacting some of the landowners and also contacting the water district, setting up a meeting with the water district in Big Sioux watershed district for possible funding sources. On the 23rd, we had I attended with Marty the safety study meeting for the pedestrian crossings in Volga. Possibly there might be in the future some lights over there, but they're going to do the study first, and we'll see what the results on that happen. I did ask about the safety improvements on County Road 23 or the Aurora corner. They are still in the design phase. Like Marty said, the DOT is down in engineers, and it's still in the design phase, and they figured it'll be 2024 before those upgrades will be completed. On the 27th, we had the BCOAC Advisory Board meeting. Dustin gave a good report on that. We're excited about the GFP interest in the facility and hope to get moving on
offices and the storage facility. It's good to partner with them, and they also they actually have a person that's employed and working from home right now, and they do not have an office for them. So we'd like to move forward on that as soon as possible. On the 28th, I went to the Brookings Fireman's Feed. The food always was great. It's huge turnout. I mean, there wasn't an empty seat there. So on the 30th, Railroad Authority meeting, we elected board members and established a board, and I believe we're having another meeting possibly with the city, the Railroad Safety Committee coming up in the near future. On the 2nd, I attended the Sinai's Fireman Benefit over in Sinai. They're still raising funds for their grain bin rescue kit. And like always, the breakfast was very good, and there are a lot of people there. On the 3rd, yesterday, I attended a Conservation Board meeting. They're already starting to get trees in. They have on the schedule over 70 acres of trees to be planted, 40 acres of grass, and they're working on the budget. Their shop out there, after the derecho is completely fixed and functional, and they're back in business out there. So that completes my report.
All right, thank you. We have a 9 o'clock scheduled agenda item. This is for a public hearing and action to approve Resolution 23-16, a supplemental budget resolution. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion for approval. Second.
Okay, we'll open the public meeting. Is there any proponents for this? Any proponents that would like to speak? All right, is there any opponents? Is there any opponents that would like to speak to this? All right, we will close the public hearing and move on to comments and discussion from the board.
So this supplemental budget includes 80 into the commission projects line. That's for the 214th Street study that we are doing with Banner. There's also that $52,986.64. That was that overpayment from catastrophic legal from our County Commissioners Association. I think I explained that at the last meeting. That all got receipted in actually last year and then rolled into fund balance, and we owe that back to them. So that's giving us that budget authority to get that back to them. And then in the Register of Deeds Relief Fund, there's $17,473. This was for Bev's scanning project that she had budgeted actually in 2022 to do. The work rolled over into 2023. So then that fund balance, we need to take that money back out of fund balance and put it to give us ourselves budget authority to get those last bills paid to get that project wrapped up and complete. So that's what this supplemental budget includes.
All right, thank you. Any discussion, comments? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Vanderwall, Jensen,
Aye.
Hostler,
Aye.
Krogman,
Aye.
motion carries.
All right, back to commission reports. Commissioner Hostler.
All right. So on the 22nd of March, attended the BED meeting via Zoom. On the 23rd, we had a domestic abuse shelter meeting with the untimely passing of Margot. We opened up a position for interim executive director and had discussions on that. On the 27th, attended the Outdoor Adventure Center meeting, board meeting, and like Commissioner Jensen said, it was got some good stuff going on out there, and we're informed of stuff out there. So the 30th, we had our regularly scheduled domestic abuse shelter meeting. Carolyn did accept the interim position for the executive director, and we have taken steps to begin a search to find a permanent replacement for that. That's my report.
All right. Questions? All right, my week, I had the 22nd, we have a beta meeting. We officially took action to remove the interim tag for Travis Bortnam to become the executive director. I saw that on the paper the other day, so Travis Bortnam will be our executive director of beta moving forward. And then on the 30th, we had a Brookings County Housing Redevelopment, which was basically an executive session for contract negotiations. So we have another one, Brookings County Housing meeting coming in April. Otherwise, that was it. So, okay, number 12 on our agenda is an executive session in accordance to South Dakota Codified Law 1-25-2, number 1 and 4 for personnel and contract negotiation. Is there a motion to move into executive session?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We will take a 10-minute break and meet in executive session.